Hello traders and welcome in a new daily market analysis video. Today is the 2nd of June and this video is brought to you by the market research team at Pure Prime. Let's have a quick look on the markets. So yesterday we had this brilliant upward move on gold as well as the dollar in the same time. So what do we expect during today's trading day? And we need to have a look also on the US indices, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq, as well as the economic agenda. This will be discussed in today's video. Please stay tuned. Starting with the economic agenda for today, Thursday, the 2nd of June. Basically, we can see here that we have some important numbers that we will be looking for. We have the weekly initial jobless claims as well as the crude oil inventories. And basically, the initial jobless claims isn't as important this week because we will be looking for the NFP to be announced on Friday, which is tomorrow. Basically, Today we have the ADP non-farm employment change for the month of May. However, this isn't the final reading. We will have the actual NFP numbers to be announced tomorrow. Basically, this forecast shows basically that we will be having a higher reading than the previous month. However, normally this number gets edited and reviewed one more time. So this basically the previous reading for April might change today. And at the end, the main focus is on the main NFP to be announced tomorrow, and that's why we basically wouldn't be putting much focus on the jobless claims or the initial claims for this week and the crude oil inventories as well. Let's have a quick look on the technical analysis and the charts. We mentioned in yesterday's video on the dollar index that basically we have our targets set around the 102.50 points on the US dollar index. We had this brilliant upward move and basically we reached our first target on the US dollar index. And having a look on the 30 minutes time frame, we can see here the shift in the trend that we're having on the short time frame. From the downward trend, we are currently seeing what seems to be some higher highs and higher lows. So basically the main trend or the current short term trend on the US dollar index is basically bullish. We are having higher highs and higher lows. So basically any downward move on the dollar index, which is the one that we're having at the moment, should be a good opportunity to buy the dollar index on the short term. So this basically level is something that we will be looking for. If we have any bullish price action just around the levels of 102.10, any bullish price action above the main levels of 102 should basically be our entry to go long on the US dollar index during the day. Having a look on gold, basically we mentioned that we will be having some a downward move from the levels of 1840. However, we saw nothing bearish from those levels, so the gold trading is continuing the move to the upside. However, from those current levels of 1855, we might see a decline on the gold trading. It is trading in a downward trend. However, it is a weak trend at the moment. So from those current levels, if we have any bearish price action, this also should be our entry to short the gold trading during the day. Going forward and basically having a look on the US indices and starting with the Dow Jones, basically on the daily time frame, we can see here that we are trading in a downward trend. However, it's not a strong downward trend. We are having some interlap between these the downward moves as well as the corrections. It is basically a price action or a price channel to the downside. So on the 4-hour time frame and 30 minutes time frame, we can see this is an upward trend. So we do expect on the medium term that this upward trend should continue to the levels of 34,400 basically, but it is still a correction in the main downward trend. And the same also applies on the S&P 500. On the daily time frame, we are expecting a continuation of this move to the upside. The levels of 4,450 is something that we'll be looking for to add to our short positions on the US indices, as long as the Federal Reserve is still having some hawkish statements about more and a faster tightening policy. Basically, the US stocks and indices are bearish during this time. So that was all for today's daily market analysis video. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay tuned for another videos. Stay safe.